What's up, brothers in sports? I'm with Jacob and Devin. How you doing today, guys?
I'm doing good. How are you guys?
We're doing pretty good. Looking forward to discussing with y'all what happened over the past couple of days.
That's great to hear, and you're right. A lot of sports went down over the weekend, including the NFL draft. Guys, what were your big takeaways from that?
So I think the first 3 picks with Caleb Williams, Drake May, and Jaden Daniels, I think those were great, solid picks, great pickups for the teams. Drake May is going to probably have to sit for the year, which, I mean, like everyone's saying, he's got raw talent, but it needs to mold. He's got sloppy footwork. I think what's interesting is the Falcons, who signed Kirk Cousins to a 4-year, $100 million contract, they go and take Michael Penix in the 7th round. Very, very disappointed in them. I understand wanting to set up success for the future, but by the time Penix is ready for the future and Kirk Cousins is getting ready to retire, Penix will be almost 30. So if we've wasted a good chunk of his development years of seeing playing time besides the preseason, those are just gone. Unless Kirk Cousins is hurt, which has happened before, but Kirk Cousins has been balling out, the last few seasons. So it's not like Kirk Cousins is in his prime. We see a lot of these older quarterbacks that come in, that fall out, but the great ones have second primes. You look at Brady, who had a prime when he was 28 to 32, and then he had another one when he was 38 to 40 almost. You have Patrick Mahomes, who's in his prime right now. You have Peyton Manning, who was in 2 primes. He was leading Colts to Super Bowls down in this first one, and then he goes to the Broncos in his final 3 years. He goes to the Super Bowl with the Seahawks. He goes to the Super Bowl and wins it against the Panthers. It just makes no sense. I'm upset that my team, Seattle, wasn't able to trade out of the top 10 and get Michael Penix. I read several reports that we were trying to do that, so I'm very upset about that. But overall, I think it was a very interesting draft with Tennessee Titans getting over 800 pounds of linemen in the trenches. We have Spencer Rattler, who goes to New Orleans, and his TV show from high school that tanked his draft stock. Very interesting to me. I think we saw a lot of things that we figured as sports fans, but then when we got later into the first round, just a lot of unexpected things. And then the second day with the second round, the Patriots trading back, and then the Titans trading up, and then Seahawks trading back. A lot of moving pieces, a lot of wasted potential things we could have got. The Packers not drafting Cooper DeJean when they were right there and going and getting a linebacker. Really interesting stuff to me here. What did y'all think?
Well, I think the Titans with drafting J.C. Latham in the first round was an excellent pick. They need to build up the offensive line. That's been a big issue for them over the last few years. I like the decision to get that blindside blocker for Will Levis, your franchise QB. I agree. I was completely surprised with the Penix pick. I'm sitting there in my living room watching the draft. I'm like, what? I just couldn't believe it. Another note that I want to mention, 6 QBs taken in the first 12 picks, guys. That's crazy. You mentioned the top 3. My favorite pick, Bo Nix. I really think he's going to have some potential. Devin, what do you think?
Overall, I think the Titans, we started off strong, getting the offensive line better. That's really where we've struggled the last years, 2, 3, 4, 5 years. We're on a rebuild now. So I think we started off good. I know later on, round 6 or 7 maybe, we ended up picking up Tajay Spears' former teammate. So I think that'll build their chemistry on the team and really start to build a strong core with, this young group that we have coming in. Because, we're building around Spears, we're building around Will Levis. These guys are on their second year. So I think we're on a rebuild, but I think this is steps in the right direction.
Now, coming in, this is one of the better draft classes we've seen, right? Compared to last year, compared to 2020, just in the recent few years, one of the really top elite ones we've had. A lot of fans come in and they have high hopes for these young players, but most of the time, these guys are out of the league 4, 5, 6 years. What do you guys think of this draft class? Are these guys should we have high expectations on these young kids coming in, or should we, hold them back a little bit? Expect maybe half of these guys aren't going to have steady careers in the NFL. Maybe 8 of these guys are going to have long-term careers and sign multi-million-dollar deals, or should we just everybody that got drafted on every team, they're going to have steady careers. They're all going to be legendary. What are we thinking here?
I think a lot of these guys are going to get to a second contract. It may not be that max extension or with a new team in free agency, but I do think a lot of these guys will get to a second contract. I feel Caleb Williams, he's going to be reliable. He's going to be steady. Jaden Daniels, that's the big question for me. How long can Jaden Daniels play in the Washington system? We've seen it for years with various Washington quarterbacks. I want to see him succeed. He won the Heisman. He's one of the most athletic, most exciting players in all of football. I think that's going to be the question for me. And, of course, for Bo Nix, I think that he can be the reliable quarterback that the Broncos have been looking for 8 years now. A lot of pain for me. But I do, to answer your question, I think a lot of these guys will be reliable players. You go even past the quarterbacks. Marvin Harrison, Brock Bowers, Malik Neighbors, that's a question mark. But a lot of these guys I think are going to be pretty reliable players. What do you think?
I mean, I think, them coming in, as long as they can stay healthy, there's a lot of potential. Like you mentioned, this draft class, I mean, we haven't seen anything like this in a long time. I think that there's going to be some busts. There's probably going to be some top round pick guys that don't go. But what I wanted to ask y'all, is there anybody that got picked in later rounds that you think is going to shine in this upcoming season?
So the Seahawks drafted a guard from, I think, it's a small school out in Colorado, or maybe it was the UTEP. We got a kid, and he's from a school in the minors. I don't know where that school is from, but he's a guard. He's a big guard. He's apparently one of the biggest steals in the draft. Got him in the 3rd round. I'm excited because we have great tackles, but we have no inside guards. Seattle has struggled for years. We have a new head coach that realizes, hey, we need to develop a great run game because run games win you games. If you can get 3 yards on every play, why wouldn't you just run the ball on every down? You're gonna be successful. So I'm glad that we're taking a step back and we're realizing, hey, we need to add to the trenches. We got a new defensive tackle because we got guys on their final year this year. We've got guards coming in because, I mean, honestly, DJ Fluker in Seattle, he's just not cutting it. The guy hasn't been cutting it for 3 years, so we got to get him out. I think it's time that I loved Pete Carroll. He's my favorite coach of all time. As a football coach that I am with middle school, I have developed my model after him and trying to be energetic and put all my passion towards these kids because everything is for them. But at the same time, I like how this new head coach is coming in. He's very serious. He's taking down all the old mottos and all the old pictures and everything, and he wants to develop something new. Fans have been calling that we need to fix this line for years. We got rid of Russell Wilson because we couldn't fix this line. And now finally we're bringing in people that are going to help us in the trenches. And like the coach said over the weekend in an interview that I watched, iron sharpens iron. So we're going to need all the iron that we can get to sharpen all the iron that we need. So I'm ready for it. But moving on past football, okay, I'm not the biggest hockey fan. I was at the game last night. What do you guys feel about the Predators? All right, and being down, we got the elimination game coming up in a few days. How are we feeling?
I mean, crazier things have happened. We are down 3-1, but can always come back. I mean, winning 4 straight doesn't seem likely, especially going against guys like Bosner. But I mean, I feel like the Preds do have, they do have the keys. They do have the tools that they need to get the job done. I don't know. We just got to lock down that defense. I mean, Bosner was walking all over us. He had 3 goals.
The final 2 minutes.
Yeah, the final 2 minutes. And then who ended up having that goal in overtime?
No idea.
Yeah, so I know he carried them through first 3 periods, and then somebody else came in there in overtime.
I don't pay attention to hockey that much, but I love going to in-person sporting events. And I normally check to see if ticket prices will lower on the day of, and I saw they lowered. I got mine for $140 last night to sit up on top. It's pretty nice. All right, so if we're going to move on from hockey here, NBA. This is kind of your realm. You got the Nuggets and the Lakers playing tonight.
That's right.
Lakers are down. What is it, 3-1?
3-1
3-1. All right, so
3-0.
you got LeBron James, one of the greatest of all time, versus Gru, Nikola Jokic. How are we thinking?
I'm nervous.
You're nervous?
I'm nervous.
You're nervous.
I'm shaking.
I mean, it's LeBron, dude.
He doesn't look like he's shaking. I think he's full.
Oh, no.
The Nuggets are in danger.
Before we came up here, before the cameras were on and everything, me and him were talking, he was like, it's LeBron, man. We let him get 1. If he gets 2.
The Nuggets have to win tonight.
You got to baby Anthony Davis.
If Nikola Jokic cannot make Anthony Davis look like a high school recruit,
it's not happening.
The Nuggets are going to lose by 20 at home, and the series will be over. I understand that there's 2 games left to win, but let's be real. I'm going to be wasting 5 days of my time if the Nuggets cannot win tonight. With that being said, Nikola Jokic is on track to win his 3rd MVP in 4 years. They might give it to SGA.
Definitely
He deserves it.
SGA.
He deserves it. If he gets it, he deserves it. Nikola Jokic always rises to the occasion in games where he can eliminate the opponent. We've seen it last year against the Lakers. We saw it against the Heat. To answer your question, I said I'm feeling nervous. Of course I'm feeling nervous. They're my favorite team. But I think they get it done. The Minnesota Timberwolves absolutely busted my playoff bracket. How do they sweep the Suns?
I think the Timberwolves go all the way now. I think it'll be
very possible.
Timberwolves and Celtics, to be honest. I don't think the Nuggets. I don't
With
think
all
anybody
due,
could stop
with
Anthony
all
Edwards
due,
right
with
now.
all due respect, I just don't think they can beat Minnesota.
I don't think anybody can beat Minnesota. Anthony Edwards is
They're
on like a
crazy.
generational run right now.
I
It is
saw
electric.
Kendrick Perkins recently said that Anthony Edwards is like 89 Michael Jordan. We know what
I
Michael
know.
Jordan did in the next 6 to 7 years after that. Kendrick Perkins has had some pretty questionable comments in the past, but that one
I believe.
I think he's probably right on that.
And I've been telling all the people that like I go to work with and some of my friends, like, this Anthony Edwards kid, like, he's gonna be the one to beat the Nuggets this year. Like, y'all better watch out, because a lot of people I know, like, they get on FanDuel and they're putting like $100 on the Nuggets to win. And I'm like, I might put $100 down on the freaking Timberwolves to win, because this is unreal with them. That's on a generational run.
I think the Clippers Mavericks game's gonna go to 7.
Yeah, that game yesterday was electric.
they've
How
been
about the
getting chippy for the
Mavs?
last couple days.
Mavs coming back 31 points like that?
Dude, Kyrie had all 5 defenders on him at one point, hit that layup, put him up by 2, and Paul George came right back with that step back 3,
Fellas,
fourth quarter.
Fellas, we're in a great time right now. We might not have football on,
Basketball's
but we
scary.
have basketball. We got playoff hockey. We are in a great time of sports.
That's completely correct. I couldn't agree with him. I couldn't agree more. Well, thank you, Jacob, for your outstanding analysis. Thank you, Devin, for being here today. Great job. And thank you, brothers, for watching. We'll see you next time.
What's up, brother?